Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. We are playing as the WWE in the year 2015, and we're booking the Friday Night SmackDown Go Home show, and I believe SmackDown more would be considered the legit Go Home show since it is the final show besides NXT, of course, but NXT technically comes on Wednesdays. Whereas SmackDown's supposed to be like Thursdays or Fridays, one of the two. Friday Night SmackDown. There you go. We're still on Fridays. But but yeah. So we're basically booking the last show till Payback. Payback is this Sunday, and I do have that was the wrong way of stating that sentence. I have every intention of uploading Payback this Sunday, which is tomorrow. So hopefully today I'll get both SmackDown and NXT uploaded. NXT doesn't take that long to book, so yeah. But whatever. Without further ado, let's go ahead and book Friday Night SmackDown. SmackDown, of course, this isn't the most exciting of SmackDowns, I'll say. Like, it's not like, oh crap, what's gonna happen tonight? It's SmackDown. Just so you know. So we only have one pre-show match, and match, and it gets a 63C, so not bad at all. Some good action, not much way in heat. Miz and Mizdow defeating the primetime players when Miz defeats O'Neal with the skull-crushing finale. Titus is improving in performance, and Miz is improving in technical, so good to see that. And then we go to the opening segment of the show, which gets a 74B-. Can't complain about that, especially since I was a little worried about this, since really it's only Rollins that is viewed as like the top guy in here. So Seth Rollins starts off the show in the middle of the ring. He's being flanked by the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Upper Cats. Rollins takes the mic and says, "Due to events that happened this past week on Monday Night Raw, I am being forced to defend my title against a man who hasn't even won a match in the WWE by himself yet. And the ultimate cherry on the top is that man still has my WWE Championship." Let's not forget that, nerds and geeks. Sting still is in possession of the WWE title. But that's okay, because come Sunday, not only am I going to get my title back, but I'm going to end your career, Sting. You should have taken Triple H's advice and just given us the title back and gone back to the WCW retirement home. All of a sudden, the Usos' music hits and they come out. Jimmy Uso takes the mic, so Jay's just here because he's here. Jimmy Uso takes the mic and he begins to laugh before responding to Rollins and saying, "You beat Sting? That's not going to happen, because just like I said on Raw, come this Sunday, Sting is going to school you just like we did on Monday." Rollins then responds and says, "That's funny, because I also remember you saying this past Monday how you said you could also beat me in a one-on-one match. Care to back these words up?" Jimmy says, "You know what? A match against the WWE Champion? Yeah, I'll back those words up, and when I beat your ass tonight, I'll be first in line for Sting's WWE Championship." So, a way to set up our main event tonight. Jimmy Uso now having to back his words up from Monday. Monday he said that he or his brother Jay could beat Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match, and we're going to find that out tonight. We then go to a quick backstage segment before a commercial break that shows Ambrose, Orton, and Ziggler walking to the ring for our opening match of the night that will, of course, have them in it. And we go to that opening match of the night, a 6-man tag match. Not yet. First, we have the Raw recap. My apologies for that. I got a little excited. The Raw recap, just a little generic thing, 62C. Wish it would have done better, especially since it brought down the Sting storyline. But that's the risk you take. Just pretty much showing off the main event from this past Monday. Then we go to our opening match, which is a 6-man tag match to start off the night, a 75B-. Can't complain. Bout that featured great action and average heat. The Authority, Rusev, Big Show, and Kane defeating Orton, Ziggler, and Ambrose when Rusev defeated Ziggler with a super kick. Apparently, Big Show was off his game, or was really off his game tonight. Also, I haven't been announcing these things, and it's something that I'm going to have to start trying to pay more attention to. because if I was really running a company, things like this would need to be announced. But there are some matches that have like stipulations or things to them. Like for instance, the Orton, Ziggler, and Kane and Big Show match we're gonna have on Sunday is gonna be basically a no DQ kind of match. So I'm gonna start having to try to pay attention to that. But the reason why I said this now is because I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that there are some matches that are gonna have match stipulations, and I just haven't mentioned it myself. Randy Orton is improving in Rumble. Sad to see no one else, especially like one of the younger guys like Rusev, Ambrose, maybe even Ziggler, improved. But still not bad. Then we go on to an angle out. Oh my lord, a 79B. That's freaking great. Thank you guys for that. 79B. Match is over. Orton, Ziggler, and Ambrose are still, left down as the Authority is celebrating. And they continue the beatdown. They are embarrassed on Monday. Triple H said, "Don't disappoint me." And what did they do? They disappointed. Sting got the pin. So Kane, Big Show, and Rusev are going to get a little bit of an added beatdown in here before Sunday. And I'm happy to see that I got a 79B. That definitely makes me very happy here. It probably is because I based Kane, Big Show, and Rusev off of being menaces. But to be honest, that's how they should be based off of. Their menaces. Wow, this did a 44D. Come on, women. Someone suggested that I actually take and put my women division or in my product section of the screen, have it be where it's like an interpromotional. Is that what it's called? An intergender promotional kind of a company where I can have women take on men. And I might actually do that because in a way it shows which women are more popular, who are considered, mid-carders and lower mid-carders and stuff like that. And also, there are times where WWE has like mixed tag matches or, even on rare occurrences, woman on men action. Not anymore, though. But we're getting off topic here. I was just throwing it out there. So we get a 44D. Victoria is being interviewed backstage about her surprise return this past Monday and about her match later tonight. She takes the mic and tells, Renee or whoever's interviewing her how excited she is to be back here in the WWE. And, just how honored and, how touching and just caught off guard she was with the reaction she got this past Monday when she returned. And she starts hyping up the match later tonight where she will team with AJ Lee, the WWE Divas champion, to take on Paige and Natalya. But before she can finish, Natalya, one of her opponents, actually comes up and interrupts her. She steps in, takes the camera. I didn't mean to say that. She steps into the camera and takes the mic and welcomes Victoria back, saying, "Hey, welcome back." Although last I remember was that you retired shortly after I debuted here in the WWE, but gotta say, I've done quite well for myself since we've departed ways. And by the way, if any of you remember when Natty first debuted, she was actually in an alliance with Victoria, so that's what the connection here is. So since we departed ways, and then she goes, "So what do you think?" Victoria then responds by saying, "You're right, Natty. You have done very well for yourself. You're a former Divas champion. But I've got to say, Natty, I had higher hopes for you when I took you under my wing all those years ago. I expected you to do a lot better, but I guess beggars can't be choosers." So, well, I wouldn't say she said, "I guess beggars can't be choosers," but basically just kind of saying, like, I guess I shouldn't expect you to live up to my name or something like that. And then she says, "I'll see you out there." So a little bit of a tension between Victoria and Natalya kind of growing here. Former partners, former friends may turn enemies if it keeps going like this. Natty doesn't definitely have an ego on her now. I mean, she's being a heart. She's partnering up with Kid and Cesaro, who have gained quite the ego, especially since all three of them, including Natty, have joined the Authority. So we'll see where this goes. We then go on to that same tag team match. That's a 54C. Good Lord, come on, Victoria. 54C, can't complain with that, especially since AJ Lee and Victoria have absolutely zero chemistry as partners. First, she has no chemistry with Paige in the ring, and then, oh, I dropped my phone on my freaking laptop. But then she does, she has like no chemistry with AJ as well. It's just like, oh, come on, Victoria. Are you just not going to have any chemistry with like anybody I want you to? AJ's improving in Rumble, so that's pretty good. We then see this. Okay, so this says a music video to promote Ryback right here. This is not what this is, because if any of you watch Monday Night Raw, you'll know Ryback has been suspended for steroid use. Does a 67C plus though, so that's pretty awesome. This is pretty much just a way to explain where Ryback is. So I didn't really want to write out an angle. I just kind of went with, a quick little hype segment. It is not about promoting Ryback. In fact, it's pretty much showing how Ryback has been mysteriously attacked backstage, and we don't know what's up with him. Simple as that. Just a way to write Ryback off TV until he comes back, to be honest. We then go on to a backstage segment. Nothing too specific here. Kind of generic. Just Sheamus and Bad News Barrett boasting and, talking about their beatdown and their surprise attack on, Cena and Bryan, about how the fans thought they were going to get this great showing, but I've got some bad news for you that it wasn't going to happen. Sheamus was saying that there's too much of a risk for Bryan to beat him, and he was not going to let Bryan beat Cena. He's going to be the one that beats Cena for that title, so on and so forth. Just a way to kind of hype up the upcoming matches between the two of them and their opponents this Sunday. 72B minus, can't complain with that, but definitely wish it would have done better. But what can you do with Sheamus and Barrett being the one that talking and not, Bryan or Cena? We then go on to a 57C minus. Wow, this did about the same as the Divas match. A match has some good action, but not much Wayne heat. Sheamus and BNB, Bad News Barrett, defeating the New Day in 7 minutes and 49 seconds when Sheamus defeated Kingston with the Brogue Kick. Xavier Woods doing some good work ringside as well, so that's awesome. Just a way to continue getting Barrett and Sheamus some momentum. We then go on to a backstage promo by Ryback, which actually does the same exact grade as the beatdown segment with Ryback. This is another just kind of generic thing. Another, I didn't really want to write out the whole thing too because it was getting to the late parts of SmackDown. But pretty much here, Stardust is kind of hinting at that he was the one that took out Ryback, kind of saying, "Oh, poor big guy. Your big mass wasn't enough to hold you up any longer," stuff like that. Another way just to kind of continuing on this Stardust Ryback feud while keeping Ryback off TV because of his suspension. We then go on to a 50D plus match, just a match to get Neville on TV in the fill-up time. Still trying to push Neville. I believe he's still a lower mid-carder, definitely trying to get him into the mid-carder range before SummerSlam. 50D plus, solid in-ring action but non-existent crowd heat. Neville defeating Curtis Axel with the Red Arrow. The only thing worth mentioning here is Axel did indeed switch to a new gimmick. He got a Gen Next gimmick, and it has a 79, so one more point would have been good, but 79 still not a bad gimmick, especially for Curtis Axel, who really needed it. Neville's also improving in performance, so that's awesome. I just want to see one thing. Okay, he did get a bonus for a good gimmick. Neville, unfortunately, does not. I gave him a pretty bad gimmick, apparently. Doesn't say that, though. Oh, there it is. Neville's penalized for poor gimmick. 50D plus, definitely was hoping for at least a C minus with this, but whatever. We then see, or not really see, Bray Wyatt walking down to the ring, but this is pretty much the announcer saying, "Bray Wyatt's in action, next." And then we go on to our match. Oh, wait, that's right. We did this before the match. A 67C plus before his match. Damn, really? I was hoping for another B. Or B minus, in the B ranges for Bray. 67C plus before his match. Bray takes the mic with the Wyatt family flanked behind him. He stands in the middle of the ring. And then he says, "Sunday, Roman. Sunday, you and I go to war. The chosen one takes on the false prophet. But which role do you think you'll be playing, Roman? It honestly could go either way, but it won't. This Sunday, your day of reckoning comes at last. This Sunday, me and my family are going to break down or tear down the walls that defend your empire, and we will burn it to the ground with your family and friends and everyone you care about left inside. This Sunday, I'm going to break you, Roman, and then I'll slowly start systematically dissecting this world until it is rebuilt in my image. Abigail's wishes will be met, and it all starts with you, Roman." So just Bray's final words before payback to Roman Reigns. Before his next match, which gets a 59C, not too shabby. Some good action and average heat. Bray Wyatt defeating Goldust with Sister Abigail. Just a way to continue getting some momentum on for Bray. We then get a music video that's promoting Sting. I imagine the announcer saying, let's take a closer look at the legendary, the iconic Sting. 77B, definitely am satisfied with that. Only thing is I wish this would have pushed along the Rollins Sting segment, but still can't complain though. We go on to our main event of the night. Oh, come on. Really? How jank is that? A 61C isn't a bad grade. Maybe for a main event, definitely for a main event, actually, it is a bad grade. We're going to lose popularity on here, maybe in all regions. But, what the fuck? No! Don't make me go back. Who did... Adam Rose? I don't want to go back, Nerds and Geeks. So I'm not gonna. Let's just ignore this. Let's just say this. I don't remember doing Adam Rose there. I could have swore that I put both Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, but I guess not. So that might have brought it down. Let me look at Dirt Sheet real quick. Did that bring it down? No, not really. Just Rollins and Jimmy holding back, and then their chemistry, which sucks. 61C here featured great action and average heat. Seth Rollins defeating Jimmy Uso with the pedigree after what was supposed to be a distraction from Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Not Tyson Kind. He's not Tyson Kind. He's Tyson Kidd. Or angry. That really irritates me that I did Adam Rose there. I would go back if this was like early in the show, but I don't want to go back and ruin all the other segments that did kind of good. Also, what sucks here is we found out that Seth Rollins and Jimmy Uso just don't click at all, and it showed in the performance, which is why I'm kind of bummed out here, because I thought this would have actually been a good match. Surprisingly, we increased our popularity in 7 regions, but lost our popularity in 16 regions, and I guess we just stayed pretty neutral and stagnant for the other regions, so that's not too bad. We definitely lost popularity in America and Canada, though, so. 69C plus for SmackDown, definitely one of our worst SmackDowns, but I'm not angry with it. Definitely a little bit more disappointed, though, with some of the chemistry there, with how Victoria and AJ didn't work too well together, and neither did Seth Rollins and Jimmy Uso, which I was hoping they would, because I thought it would have been a great match, and Jimmy Uso, out of both Usos, would be the one that I would want to push. But, what can you do? So what we have here, look at this. Dragon Gate taking the top, post. Huh? What is this? Olympico. Well, you're 49, no wonder. CML not signing Olympico. And look at this, Kenta Miyahami, not too happy about All Japan. Davey Boy. Gimmick infringement. No one's angry with us. What do we have here? Decisions, contract negotiations with Kevin Steen. Yeah, look at this. 5 years. Kevin Steen or Kevin Owens will be with us for quite a long time. So there we go. We have signed Kevin Owens to a long contract now that his contract was coming up. And why did this get it? I disagree. This should have done a little better. But whatever. Not too shabby there. Not too shabby. Wish this would have been higher. Definitely wish this would be higher. Especially since Stardust and Ryback has whatever. Not too bad. Some of my storylines I definitely wish would be a little better right now, but what can you do, Nerds and Geeks? I am going to do an auto push real quick, and then I want to showcase the creative meeting before we end off this episode. Anything changing? Nope. Our franchise players have stayed the same. About the same there. Same. Alright. What's this? Dolph Ziggler? I don't remember Ziggler being above Daniel Bryan. That's interesting. No one's above Daniel Bryan when it comes to being a ring general, though. So who's hot? Bryan, Rusev, Wyatt, Rollins, and Orton. Okay, definitely got to keep an eye on Orton, Nerds and Geeks. In fact, I'll check that out before we end off this episode. And that seems like it's it. So what was it again? Randy Orton needs to stay or be kept above an 83 momentum. Randy Orton's at an 84. Oh no. That's not good, nerds and geeks. That's not good at all. Because we were like right there about failing this. I might end up taking off owner goals, just so you guys know. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are against me taking off owner goals, if you really want to see a legitimate following the owner's orders playthrough. Let me know below. If you guys don't mind me taking off owner goals just because you want to see the stories and you don't really care about if Stephanie does it or not, because let's be realistic too, Stephanie wouldn't fire Triple H. Let me know below, nerds and geeks. Another thing I want to check out is Neville. He's still a lower mid-carder. What's his popularity? 38? Let me see a mid-card real quick, and let me see what their popularity is. By the way, I'm probably going to increase popularity for like Melissa Marie and other people who, are signing with NXT, just to kind of, boost their popularity a little bit more. What am I looking for again, though? Mid-carder? Yeah. So about a 50 gets a mid-carder, and Neville's at 30, so alright, I see why then. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this episode, nerds and geeks. My name's been OMG, WTF, LOLFTW, BRB. I will see you guys for NXT, hopefully later today. And as always, I will see you guys in the next episode. So until then, have a